All eyes on Super Tuesday. Early voting for the North Carolina primary is officially over, and it comes as the leading Republican presidential candidate makes a stop in Greensboro and announces a major endorsement. I'm Denise McMiller, and you're watching WFMY News 2 at 6. We begin with team coverage tonight as former President Donald Trump just wrapped up a campaign rally in Greensboro. We have Hannah Jeffries and Amber Lake live at the Greensboro Coliseum covering the rally and talking to candidates. Let's start with Hannah, who's been at the Coliseum all afternoon as former President Trump made his final pitch to North Carolina voters ahead of the primary on Tuesday.
Former President Donald Trump took his time convincing people right here in the Triad of why they should vote for him in the upcoming primary. During his nearly hour-and-a-half long speech, from the comments he made, it was clear that he was a lot more focused on beating current President Joe Biden as opposed to his immediate opponent, Nikki Haley. Trump called on a room full of thousands of supporters to go out and vote. During his speech, he hit on inflation, foreign relations, and border control.
Seal the border and stop the invasion of our country. Two days ago, I was with Governor Greg Abbott at the Texas border. He's doing a good job to witness the total devastation that crooked Joe Biden has unleashed. Our border is an open and gushing wound. It's pouring drugs, gangs, terrorists, and millions of illegal aliens whose supply chain is broken, whose stores are not stocked, whose deliveries are not coming. And we are a nation that allowed Russia and Ukraine to fight, killing hundreds of thousands of people. And it will only get worse. It would never have happened with me as your president.
Nearly an hour into Trump's speech, there was a medical emergency in the crowd. He paused and acknowledged first responders before moving on to his next talking point. Trump stuck to claims that the 2020 election was rigged. He also called on patriots to get out and vote so that the margin is so big that his win would be undeniable. Trump also said he didn't care about former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley and said that stating that he hadn't heard from her since he won her home state. He also endorsed several Republican candidates, including Greensboro native Mark Robinson. At one point, he compared him to Martin Luther King. Live in Greensboro, I'm Hannah Jeffries, WFMY News 2.
Thank you, Hannah, for that update. If you missed former President Trump's remarks at the rally, you can rewatch the event on our website, WFMYnews2.com. All right, now let's check in with Amber Lake, who's also live at the Greensboro Coliseum, where thousands showed up to listen to the former president. Amber, Westgate City Boulevard was so busy today. Traffic advisories were sent out telling local drivers to basically avoid the area altogether.
Hi, Denise. The amount of people that came out to the Greensboro Coliseum today was absolutely insane. The doors to the building opened at 10:30 and people just started pouring inside. It wasn't until 2 p.m. when Donald Trump started speaking that thousands of people lined all the way to the road were turned away. We spoke to many people out here today. All of them came out to show their support.
Go Trump.
Go Trump.
Trump 2024.
Supporters gathered by the thousands.
This is America right here. This line of people is America.
From all over the country.
That's why I drove after work from Atlanta.
All of them hoping for a change in America.
Who's going to clean up this mess? He's going to clean up our country.
I see what's going on in the world today, and I believe Trump is the only one that can fix it.
Step by step, all walks of life poured into the Greensboro Coliseum. Some got in line early this morning.
We are in line. We got out here about 5:30. Get a great feeling because it's a different vibe of different, ethnicities and everything.
Kaylee Barber and her mother were some of those in line early. Barber just turned voting age.
It makes me feel like my voice and my opinion for who could be our next president, everything really means something.
Others drove in from out of state, like Ian Smith from Atlanta, Georgia.
And what I've seen here and what I love with these communities here that I'm now part of is that we're very receptive of different ideas.
Many supporters agree with the former president's platform.
We're looking for our economy, definitely.
I'm looking to see my gas prices get cut in half again.
Behind him, 100% immigration, inflation. This country has just turned into a laughingstock amongst the whole world. And we just need to get it back to the way it was when he was president.
In Greensboro, Amber Lake, WFMY News 2.
Thank you, Amber, for that update. New at 6, Governor Roy Cooper issued a statement regarding Trump's visit to Greensboro. He says, in part, quote, North Carolinians want to be able to raise their kids, to get good jobs, good paying jobs, to have access to health care, and to have the freedoms their parents had. Everything Donald Trump has spent his campaign fighting against. The choice this November will be between President Biden, who wakes up every day thinking about the American people, and Donald Trump, who wakes up every day thinking about himself. And I know we'll come together to re-elect President Joe Biden. Nikki Haley, Trump's most notable opponent in the Republican race for the presidential nomination, was also in North Carolina today. Haley, former North Carolina governor, held a campaign rally event in Raleigh, in South Carolina. Despite trailing former President Trump, she's vowing to stay in the race. Today at Union Station, she addressed why voters should support her.
Now is the time that we need a leader with moral clarity. We need a leader who knows the difference between right and wrong and good and bad.
Meanwhile, on the Democrat side, the Biden administration is also working to muster up more support. Both the First Lady Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris are on the campaign trail. The FLOTUS is out west while Vice President took a trip to Durham to the city's Black Wall Street. Yesterday's visit was a part of the administration's investment in the America Tour. The Vice President Kamala Harris discussed economics and championed the administration's investment in strengthening entrepreneurship, increasing access to capital, and supporting small businesses in underserved communities.
We understand that traditionally, minority-owned businesses have received a fraction of federal contracts, often because the relationships are not there. The access, therefore, is not there, but the talent exists. And so our pledge to increase by 50% federal contracts going to minority-owned businesses is an acknowledgement of the fact that we must be intentional.
Harris also announced a nearly $100 million investment for North Carolina businesses. She says they've earned it.
And we're very excited about it because this is just further testament to the capacity that is here, that is calling for this kind of attention and these resources. It is testament to the innovation that is occurring right here.
This was Harris's second trip to our state this year and her 10th to North Carolina as vice president. Meanwhile, First Lady Joe Biden made stops in Arizona and Nevada ahead of Super Tuesday. The trips were a part of her tour launching Women for Biden-Harris, a national organizing campaign to reach and mobilize women across the country.
We're going to do what we did in 2020 and 2022. We're going to talk to our friends about why this election is so important. Tell them what's at stake. Donald Trump is dangerous to women and to our families. We simply cannot let him win.
All eyes are on Super Tuesday and how voters will respond at the polls. Come primary night, we'll have our teams scattered across the triad and state getting reaction from candidates as results come in. We will have comprehensive coverage of all the races important to you on air and online.